That's tomorrow. And that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but...
Okay.
Yeah, I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Ready? Sure.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean? To play us out.
Sting is going to do, it's a video. Sting video. Okay.
What is...
For credits.
I don't know what that means, to play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
That was Bill O'Reilly. We'll never forget it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Damn it. Hello to you all. This is RHTV Live. We are streaming live from Maastricht, which is in the south of the Netherlands. Yep. And of course, we're going to show that on the map. So here we have Maastricht. Yep. And of course, we're going to talk politics, geopolitics, and events happening in and around our beautiful planet. Now, the first thing I want you to see is a historical video of someone who made the atomic bomb, right? We all know him as Oppenheimer. So we're going to show you Oppenheimer, what Oppenheimer had said, right, when he dropped, or well, the US dropped the atomic bomb. I have become death, destroyer of worlds.
We knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.
Now, why is this important? Right? Why am I speaking of Oppenheimer? You know, why is this important? Well, there was this Ukrainian incursion, and they basically hit ammunition depot in Russia. Now look at this explosion. Look at this here, right? That is a big explosion, man. All the world felt it. Now this is an ammunition depot, right, stationed in Russia. You have the Kursk incursion. You have basically part of the Ukrainian army going into Russia and taking over villages and stuff. So big explosion. And yeah, you may ask yourself, where is this all going? Where is this all going? When is the war going to end? We want peace. We don't want war, right? We want peace. That's what we want, not war. If you want a war, you go fight, right? We want peace. We don't want war. So here is the banner: freedom, peace, end all the wars now. Yeah. I don't want an atomic bomb falling on my head because my government was supporting the wrong side, right? You know, I don't want that. We want peace. I don't hate Russians. I don't hate Ukrainians. I don't hate North Koreans, Iranians. I don't care. You are a human being and you are being suppressed by your government, right? Now, Zelensky's major plan to win this war is to join NATO. Now, there are countries within NATO, right, that really are pressing for war, you know, such as our government in the Netherlands. It's really shameful that the new prime minister had said, nope, we're just going to support Ukraine. We know what's going on. We know what happened in Ukraine, right? Radicals were set in power in Ukraine. The 2014 coup, we will never forget this, right? Who did the coup? That was the US. The US did the coup and basically had put radicals into power in Kiev, right? And these radicals are attacking Russian-speaking Ukrainians. So this is all happening, and Russia tried to prevent the war, right? I'm not pro-Russia. I'm not pro-Ukraine. I'm not pro-US. I'm not pro-UK, or I am pro-Netherlands. I love my country, but my country is being ruled by criminals. Criminals are in power, right? People should know this. But yeah, it's basically everywhere. Everywhere you look, you know, Canada, exactly the same. Trudeau. Who in Canada does not hate Trudeau? You know, politics is not for your benefit. It's for their benefit, right? Their benefit. They profit from the misery and the suppression of the population. You know, this is what's happening. There are videos of Barack Obama, remember him, Barack Obama with P. Diddy. Yeah. Now, I don't know what P. Diddy did and all that. You know, the news is coming in, but it's basically the same as Epstein. He'll be on a suicide watch, you know. So the world has gone crazy, man. The world has really gone crazy. It's turned upside down. You know, if you look at the Democratic Party over there in the U.S., they say, nothing wrong with our party. Nope, nothing wrong. Whilst I thought Joe Biden was supposed to run against Donald Trump. What happened here? Kamala Harris? Huh? A vice president stepping up? Yeah, that's because the Democratic Party had done a coup, right? Within the party. You have fractions within the Democratic Party, trying to fight for the seat of power. But that seat of power was filled in by a demented old fool, right? Joe Biden was like, we're gonna make America great again. Not in those words, right? Build back better. You remember that? Build back better. Well, what's been built? Nothing. What's back? Nothing. What's better? Nothing. All phrases, a fart in the wind, and people smell it. Hey, that smells good. I'm going to vote for that guy. And this is politics in general, right? We're not only talking the U.S. politics, but also Dutch politics. The Dutch people need to understand when you get to vote, you do this anonymously, right? It's not registered under your name and this and that. The vote is not registered under your name. So you can't say, hey, wait a minute, I voted for that party. It's anonymous. Anonymous. Right? The vote is anonymous. And this is why when you vote, you give, it's beneficial for the system that is suppressing you, right? We all know over there in The Hague that there are criminals. We have a coalition of 4 parties, right? We have PVV, Geert Wilders. We have BBB, Caroline van der Plas. We have NSC, Pieter Omtzigt. And we have VVD. Yeah, and Jezilgus. And the VVD was in the last coalition, right? They screwed everything up, They were in the last coalition. Rutte 4 was the VVD. Now, you're not going to tell me that the VVD suddenly gets so much votes. No, they have a hand in the system, right? They have a hand in the system, and they are frauding the public, basically, by staying in power, right? Voter fraud. It's also happening in the Netherlands, but also, we also look at the other side, right? We don't look at what's really happening. Nope. The Dutch people basically don't care. Thousands of people are set on a fraud list, right? This is all done by our government. And children were abducted by our government, and the people in power, the people in power, they don't care. They don't care. And the people not in power, right, such as me, I'm not in power. I'm not affiliated to a political party, so I'm not in power. Uh, People such as me, I make myself angry because of these issues. You know, I make myself angry because government is not meant, to rule over you. Government is meant to serve you. These are servants, public servants, right? And it's so sad to see, you know, so sad to see that we're living in this matrix, right? Most of it is fake. You're not telling me that millions of years of evolution has come to this, right? 9 to 5 work, and then put your ass on the couch and watch TV, get yourself brainwashed, right? Oh, Ukraine is winning the war. Uh, Not really. They're having incursions in Kursk, as we've seen before, right? Big ammunition depot, blown up. So that's happened, right? But they're not winning the war. Russia is way bigger, way stronger, and has more military people. Now, you may say that it's all a conspiracy theory, right? No, Russia is bigger than Ukraine. Even Kamala Harris had said Ukraine is a small country and Russia is next to Ukraine. But Russia is bad because they attack a small country. Well, wait a minute. Japan. Yeah, Japan. Remember Japan? Hiroshima and Nagasaki. 2 atomic bombs on one country, right? Now, Japan is so much smaller than the US. What about Iraq? Oh, there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Yeah, you gotta believe me. Weapons of mass destruction. Wait a minute. Those weapons were never found. They were never ever found. So you're telling me that basically you lied to me. Yeah? And I'm supposed to believe everything you say? What about the 9/11 Commission? Let's take a look at that. Why doesn't the 9/11 Commission mention WTC 7, right? Building 7. Not one word in the 9/11 Commission about WTC 7. Now, there is a NIST report about WTC 7, but that's a faulty report. We know slightly what happened during 9/11. We know. William Rodriguez, that janitor that was in the lower basements and explosion under him. We know. We know. But you're not allowed to talk about that. In a world full of lies, truth is the main weapon, right? We want truth. We want truth. We know that certain issues are on the table, such as Operation Northwoods, right? Operation Northwoods. These declassified file about how to attack Cuba, right? We know. So we know what's going on. We know what's going on. And there's so much to tell. So much to tell. You know, we'll do it live. We'll do it live, damn it. Yeah, there aren't many people that go live talking about geopolitics, right? We need to understand the fundamentals of what's going on. Now, why was, for example, Syria? Why was Syria attacked? What happened? Well, in Homs, which is a city in Syria, 2 kids were shot and killed, right, by police officers. They were spraying anti-Assad slogans and stuff like that on the wall. They were killed. Now, if you touch one Syrian, you touch them all, right? So what happened was a big protest against the cops, basically, and the government wanting to reform the powers of the police, right? If you go back to the 1980s, the same thing happened in Syria. The CIA had made a proxy, right, to try to overthrow Assad's father, Bashar al-Assad. You know, you have what's his face, Haftar al-Assad. That's the father, right? So this all happened, right? It happened before. So during the civil war, Syrian civil war, if you may call it that, because it's not really a civil war. These are proxies, armies from outside of Syria coming into Syria to attack in Damascus, their capital, right? So it's not really a civil war, it's more a proxy war. Now, why was this proxy war so, so extensively long, right? Well, under the table, there was a deal made by 2 countries, which are Saudi Arabia and Qatar, right? They wanted to build a pipeline towards Turkey, gas and oil pipeline. Now, that is a bit of a problem because if you look at the map, the pipeline must go through Syria, right? So, and Bashar al-Assad said, nope, I don't want a pipeline through Syria. Nope. And the higher ups in Saudi Arabia and Qatar said, wait a minute, our plan is going to default. Yeah. We need to overthrow Bashar al-Assad. So you have all these proxies coming from Turkey and Jordan, Israel, right? These are the so-called enemies of Syria. And basically, they attacked Syria. Saudi Arabia was also a big player in the game, right? So, no pipeline running through Syria because Bashar al-Assad is still in power. They tried to overthrow him, and he's still in power. He did not leave his country like our leaders did during the Second World War. All right? So you must praise him for that. Yeah? But once a dictator, always a dictator. And That is wrong. We need new elections in Syria, and Bashar al-Assad must step down, according to the Syrian people, right? So the proxy war is on ice, even though there are sporadic engagements with the Syrian army and other proxies, right? So if we look at the map, we also see the Golan Heights, and experts of the Middle East actually know where the Golan Heights are, but this is in Syria, right? The Golan Heights over here. Now that place is contested by Syria, saying that it's their land, but Israel has annexed the Golan Heights, right? And this is how Israel, intercepted a lot of equipment and stuff going into Lebanon. We know that Iran supports Hezbollah, and there are two paths towards Lebanon, from the north and from the south, and they intercepted from the south and basically put bombs in the machines and stuff. Yep. This is warfare, man. This is war, right? So we have Israel attacking the Gaza Strip, and there are incursions here and there, and Rafah is still a battle zone. That's what happens when you have Hamas deep underground, right? You can't really find them. So that's going on. And you have Hezbollah saying, leave Hamas alone, right? So that's going on in the north of Israel. And, there's so much going on. We still have Iran, a retaliation is still in the works, I guess, because in Iran you had a Hezbollah, Hamas leader that was killed in Tehran, which is the capital. Big explosion in an apartment and stuff like that. And Iran is saying, we're going to strike back. But when? That is to be seen, So we have that going on. There's so much, pagers exploding in Lebanon, Hamas and Hezbollah leaders dying because of the explosions and stuff. So Hezbollah had said, this is war. This is war, right? So it's very, very hard to see what's going to happen in the near future, right? Because the presidential elections are in America. Now, let's hope that Trump will survive this. There are 5 assassins going after Trump, right? We know this from the Next News Network, basically saying it. And we're going to take a look at the 5 assassins, according to the Next News Network. And let's see if we can find that video. Wait a sec. Yeah. Let's see. We're going to find the video where you have 5 assassins going after Trump, right? 5 assassins. It's like, whoa, dude. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a movie one day. So we found the video clip of Next News Network, and we're going to show it in a couple of seconds. And here we have it. 5 assassins after Trump. 5 assassination teams hunting Trump.
Donald Trump was on the Gutfeld show last night, and he is certainly the people's champion.
You have to do it right because you are
This is why they hate him so much.
the people's champion, Mr.
Oh,
Trump.
wow.
And on behalf of all the people of America,
I like that. Now I'm really. That's a good one.
it's the man who makes all the professional ones.
Yeah.
There you go. It's a crowd.
No, but this is the real one. This is a real deal. This
Yeah.
Is,
No, I'm going to give a fake belt to the next
no,
president.
we're more used to that. That's good. Thank you, Terrence.
You are the people's champion.
You're going to have to wear that on the golf course for safety reasons.
Yeah, he is the people's champion. And now Matt Gaetz says there are 5 different assassination teams here in America targeting President Trump, according to a Homeland Security source. Let's listen.
I'll break a little news for you. I had a senior official from the Department of Homeland Security in my office before the second assassination attempt saying that what he has assessed is that there are 5 known assassination teams in the United States, 3 inspired by other governments, 2 that are here that are known domestic assassination teams. And with that, this individual was coming to me concerned that the force protection around President Trump, even prior to that second assassination attempt, was not sufficient for what it needed to be. And the coordination at that level, at the dignitary protection level, is like the bare minimum that we have to do to keep our presidents, our presidential candidates safe while they're on the trail.
So there are 5, I just want to follow up, 5 assassination teams. Are they all targeting Trump? Is it other officials?
Yes. No,
Wow.
I should have been clear about that. 5 teams that we know are targeting Trump. And so that raises real questions about why certain teams were being pulled off of the Trump detail and put on, for example, the Jill Biden detail. Now, we don't want anything bad to happen to Jill Biden, but at the same time, the threat envelope for her was substantially different than the threat envelope around President Trump, and it would not.
So 5 assassination teams are after Trump. Now, why, right? Why assassinate Trump? Why would you do this, right? Well, if we look at the 4 years of Trump, there was major peace, right? No wars, no wars in the Middle East, no war in Ukraine. You guys have to remember this, right? There were no wars, right? But there are problems. Even during the Trump administration, there were problems, such as assassinating an Iranian general in Iraq. Why would you do that? You piss off the Iranians. You know, they are angry. They're not only angry because you assassinated top general, you know, the Iranians don't forget, right? They do not forget. They know what happened during the 50s, Operation Ajax, right? Remember that? We, as the West, destabilized Iran. We overthrew their elected president, Mossadegh. And we put in a Shah, you know. Was that good for Iran? Well, I don't know. But it was good for Western powers. The Iranian people were like, we don't want this, and they overthrew the Shah. And now they have the Ayatollah, which is basically the Iranian Revolution, because they want to spread Islam all over the world. This is also the reason why, one of the reasons why Russia attacked Afghanistan in the 80s, to prevent the spreading of Islamic, Islamic faith and such. So, and Afghanistan, that is a whole different story. Afghanistan has been destabilized for more than 100 years. The first you had the English and the Russians, right? The English had India, which was a lot larger than what you see now. You had Pakistan, which was part of India. You had Bangladesh, which was part of India, and Myanmar. This was all India back then. And the English were seeking territory in Afghanistan, and the Russians too, right? The sandpit of empires, it's been called, right? Every empire that went to Afghanistan fell in Afghanistan. The Russians tried it, nope. The English tried it, nope. The Americans tried it, nope. You must understand the region, right? There is no centralized power in Afghanistan. It's all provinces that have power within the province. Now, you have these Western powers saying, we need a centralized government in Afghanistan. Not going to work. Not going to work. These people have been living like that for centuries before the external powers came into Afghanistan. Right? Russia did not work. The Russians learned their lesson, right? If you look at who has been waging warfare over the last century, it's been America. The 1950s, we had the Korean War. Now that was not America, that was the United Nations. Right? They used America as a vessel to attack Korea, right? But still, the U.S. was involved. So we have that. We also have Vietnam. Remember that? Yeah. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Vietnam. Yeah. So the Americans are everywhere, man. They're everywhere. And it's basically surrounding Russia, right? When NATO came to be, we had CENTO and the other party, which was in Asia. So it's surrounding Russia. As I've said before, right? Russia's been in war for more than 100 years. So this is serious stuff we're talking about, right? So if we look in the future, say 10 years from now, we will see that Georgia will be the next country to try to destabilize Russia, right? When the whole Ukraine situation is finished, you have Georgia, which is also, It used to be a Soviet state, and now they're independent. Yet there is a region within Georgia, South Ossetia, right, which is basically for Russia. There are like from say 200 people, you have 150 Russian supporting people over in South Ossetia. So that might spark another war, right? So there's so much to tell. Turkey is a NATO country, but Erdogan is like, nope, we don't need NATO anymore. So maybe we'll go to the BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, right? And there are other countries that have been aligned with the BRICS, such as Egypt, Ethiopia, and other African countries, and some countries in South America, I believe. So that is growing. You basically have two superpowers, right? You have the Western Alliance, which is NATO and America, and you have the Eastern Alliance, which is Russia, Iran, China, and now also North Korea, right? So this is all happening, people. This is just a frame of reality, right? That's what we want. We want real news. Now, as far as I know, in Myanmar, there is still a coup going on. The army is in power in Myanmar, and the rebels are taking more and more ground. And who knows? Who knows? Maybe China will say, "Hey, Myanmar, you're doing good. You know, we're going to support you." Who knows? Maybe there's an external power saying, "Yeah, the army, you know, you got to stay in power." So who knows? That is also a hot spot, Myanmar. And we also have the Koreas, North and South Korea, right? North Korea says there is no path to unification. There's only war. So we have that going on. And there are more pressure points, such as the Kashmir region. Here we have Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, and it's disputed land because Pakistan says, hey, Jammu and Kashmir is ours. India says, hey, Jammu and Kashmir is ours. China says, hey, Jammu and Kashmir is ours. So you have three powers fighting over one piece of land, right? And Jammu and Kashmir is an autonomous state, basically, and there are like pieces of Jammu and Kashmir that are for Pakistan, that are for India or China. There's even Afghanistan trying to take over part. So, and it's a big part. It's all within these dotted lines here. So that is Jammu and Kashmir. And also a pressure point, right? And it's very hard to get news from over there. Let's see what else. We have peace talks in Switzerland for Sudan, right? We have the RSF and the ASF, or the SAF, the Sudanese Army Forces against the Rapid Special Forces, right? A paramilitary power that had a coup. They overthrew a president, and once they were in power, they were fighting against each other, and then you had a big civil war, and there are peace talks now in Switzerland, and let's hope the people in Khartoum are safe, right? We want peace. We don't want war. That's what we want, peace, right? We don't want war. We don't want missiles flying over because, our government is too stupid to, look beyond what's happening tomorrow. So the Netherlands says, we are going to fight Russia. Well, this major piece of land is Russia, right? This is all Russia, divided into states. It's a federal mechanism over there. Anyway, this here is the Netherlands. It's just as big as my arrow, right? You see? Small country. Now, we say, we're going to fight Russia. We have 18 somewhat million people, almost 18, 17 point whatever million people. And we are going to fight Russia? Really? Really? You do want us to win the war, right? I mean, small country, very small country against a very big country. On the OPEC list, this is a nuclear power. Now, we also have nuclear weapons over here in the Netherlands, but they're not even ours, right? They're from the US. So it's not even ours. And yeah, who knows? Maybe one day there will be a missile going into Brussels, Paris. Who knows? Who knows? Ukraine is using NATO as, winning the war, right? We have NATO generals in Odessa trying to destabilize Crimea, right? So that's going on, and it won't take long until we as Dutch people have to fight in Ukraine, because there basically is no Ukrainian army anymore. The incursion in the east of the Russians is spreading. They're already at the Dnieper, the river that runs through Ukraine. So, Dnipro. Yeah, it's Dnipro. Yeah. Anyway, they're already there, and basically, if you look at Ukraine, the Russians had won the war. What Ukraine is doing in the Kursk area, right, is basically a desperate move, right? So you have like woods and stuff like that. Primarily woods, forest, and you have to go through that. There's nothing to be found over there in Kursk except for an atomic reactor, right? So when that is going to be hit, yeah, it's going to be a lot bigger explosion than the one we just saw, and a lot of radioactive material flying around. So I hope that Russia is guarding that facility, because we don't want an escalation of war. We want peace. That's what we want. That's what we need. The Dutch economy is not very big, but now we have a cabinet that wants to be a war cabinet, right? We'll have a war economy, and we don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need our sons and daughters going into Ukraine being cannon fodder for Russia, right? We as Dutch people are better than that. We've been beaten down by our own government, put in a cage and labeled, right? Oh, you're a wacko. You're a wacko when you don't inject yourself with some serum. You're a wacko. No, we're not. We're logical thinking people, right? We see things objectively. We had freedom, and government said, nope, we're going to lock you down. You're not allowed to go out. No. We are. Yeah, we're going to party. Yeah. Why did Boris Johnson step down in England? Well, they were partying at Downing Street, right? They were having a very big party and DJs and this and that, and the English people needed to stay at home. Rules for thee, but not for me. It was never about public health. It was about public power. How will the population react against public power? Well, the population was fighting over toilet paper. Yep. We were not fighting against the people in power. No. We're fighting over toilet paper. Yeah. So, and I'm not making this up, right? I'm not making this up. You may say that, it's all in my weirdo conspiracy head. No, it's not. It's really not. We're going to show you a clip of what happened back then, right? During the pandemic or plandemic, right? So we're going to take a look at a video of what basically happened during the pandemic. People were fighting over toilet paper. I'm not making this up, right? You can just find it on YouTube. People in the US and UK are fighting over toilet paper and rice due to the C virus. Yeah, the man-made C virus. Thank you, Fauci. Thank you for ruining the Western society.
One per person.
Now, I don't know if this is the US or doesn't sound like it, but look at all these people, man. Look at all these people, all in a panic, right?
What?
toilet paper. We need toilet paper and rice. Not you. Get the latest information from the WHO about coronavirus. Thank you, YouTube. I don't want to be notified by the WHO, which is an illegal institution that is trying to take over the world, basically. One of the institutions, right? So, no, this toilet paper is mine. It's mine. I took it. My toilet paper. My precious. Now, seriously, you fight over toilet paper. We have people in Parliament saying 1.5 meters distance and this and that, and you're fighting over toilet paper. We were not allowed to shake hands anymore. You know, our Prime Minister back then, Mark Rutte, had said, you are not allowed to shake hands anymore. And we're going to take a look at that. If we have some patience here. So here we have Mark Rutte, right? Our Prime Minister back then saying, you're not allowed to shake hands. You must use your elbow, you must use your foot, you must use your ass, whatever. You're not allowed to shake hands, right? So what happens? We have a press conference with the then Prime Minister, now General Secretary of NATO, Mark Rutte, with the Dutch Anthony Fauci, saying all these ridiculous rules and stuff like that. We're going to take a look at this here. So it's been said, right, you're not allowed to shake hands. And what does Mark Rutte do? Right after he said it, oh, wait, we have to rewind. Right after he says, you're not allowed to shake hands, you and I are not allowed to shake hands. And what does Mark Rutte do?
Sorry. Nee. Vanaf dit moment stoppen we met handen schudden. Dus u kunt voet zoenen, u kunt elleboog stoten, wat u ook wilt. Ik zie op scholen allerlei prachtige varianten op het handen schudden al ontstaan.
So basically he's saying you're not allowed to shake hands anymore. You can use your feet, you can use your elbow, and this and that. We see plenty variations and this and that. You know, this is right after the press conference or ends, basically right before. I mean, so.
Maar wij stoppen vanaf vandaag met handen schudden.
Wij stoppen met handen schudden. We're not going to shake hands anymore. And what does our Prime Minister back then do?
Vandaag met handen schudden. Oh, sorry.
Stop met handen schudden. We're not going to shake hands anymore. Nope.
Maar wij stoppen vanaf vandaag met handen schudden.
Nope, we're not going to shake hands anymore. And these two shake hands. Now, Jaap van Dissel, the Dutch Anthony Fauci, says, you know, these are the rules, don't shake hands and blah, blah, blah. But he is also in the wrong. You know, he should have said, hey, wait a minute, Mark, you just said no handshaking. But no, Jaap van Dissel extends his hand and shakes Mark Rutte's hand. So, rules for thee, but not for me. We even had a Minister of Justice who says, you are asocial when you have a party at home. Because, you know, there are people getting sick and dying, blah, blah. You are asocial. So this is the Minister of Justice, right, saying you are asocial. You are asocial when you give a party, right? We'll have to rewind somewhat, I think. Here we go. Here we have Hubert Bruls, which used to be or is the mayor of a city in the Netherlands, Nijmegen. And this was during the corona pandemic. And he was the specialist of health and whatever, you know. It's just a title, you know.
Dus het is goed dat het kabinet nu ook ons echt eigenlijk beveelt van ga daarmee in de gang. En hier heb je een aantal extra instrumenten om het op te pakken. En daar zijn we tevreden over.
En ik kan maar alleen maar één ding zeggen, als je nu...
So this is Ferdinand Grapperhaus, which was the justice minister.
Deze omstandigheden een huisfeest houdt waar gewoon iedereen dat kan raden dat het niet mogelijk is om die 1,5 meter aan te houden, dan ben je een stel aso's. Ik zeg het gewoon keihard, dan ben je echt een stel aso's. Doe dat nou niet, het gaat erom.
You are asocial when you have a housewarming party or something along those lines. You are asocial. Je bent een aso. Asociaal. Jij bent asociaal. Okay, remember that, right? Remember that. Because who gives a wedding during the corona pandemic? Who gives a wedding during, you know, the lockdown and the corona and all that? Who gave a wedding? You think that that it's like in my mind, you know? This guy gave a wedding during the corona pandemic situation in the Netherlands, right? Now, he's saying basically to the Dutch population, you are asocial when you give a party, right? But who is partying? Who gave a wedding? And yeah, it was Grapperhaus, the Minister of Justice back then, gave a wedding. This bald guy here, cue ball, you know, he gave a wedding, and nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Let's see if we can find some pictures of the wedding. We don't have it at hand, but he had a wedding, right? Rules for thee, but not for me. Yeah? Trouwfeest Grapperhaus van voorbeeldig tot en met de minuut. So we're going to look at some wedding pictures of Grapperhaus during the pandemic, right? This is RTL News, one of the major outlets, media outlets. Basically lying, you know, nieuwe pictures of wedding Grapperhaus And yeah, we don't see any more pictures than this one here. So they're lying right into your face. And let's see if we can. Wait, we just clicked on a link and nope, no pictures. Anyway, so you are asocial when you give a party. But when this cue ball gets married, nothing is wrong there. Nothing is wrong there. Nope, 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 nope. Rules for thee, but not for me, right? And when the Dutch population found out, Grapperhaus said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to gift, what was it, like 100 euros to some foundation that helps kids. And yeah, right. Yeah, right. So this is all happening and has happened. We're just giving the frame of reality, right? Not the frame of consensus, because consensus says Russia is bad. Well, if you say Russia is bad, well, compare that to what the U.S. had done, right? Attack Afghanistan, attack Iraq, Syria, Libya. No, we almost forgot Libya. Gaddafi, right? Power vacuum for 10 years, a split up country basically, which is still split up. Two powers in Benghazi and in Tripoli, right? So, you know, yeah, we give you democracy. Yeah, right. Right. Now we know about the wars and stuff like that. We know all these wars were planned. We know. We had that general saying 5 countries within somewhat years, or something like, no wait, it was 7 countries, right? 7 countries in 5 years. So 7 countries to overthrow in 5 years. Wesley Clark, you guys remember him? Top general in the Pentagon. You may say it's all in my conspiracy-minded head. No, it's not. We have the video. So we're going to take a look at this here. Here we have General Wesley Clark getting information after the terrorist attacks on 9/11.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who had used to work for me, and one of the generals called me and he said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, "No." He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do."
I don't know. We're going to war with Iraq, and I don't know why. Well, maybe it was those weapons of mass destruction that were not found in Iraq, right? What about the so-called UN spy plane that you wanted to use to instigate a war with Saddam Hussein? We know. The Downing Street memo, we know.
So I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments." And he said, "I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, And by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, are we still going to war with Iraq? And he said, oh, it's worse than that. He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper. He said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today. And he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran.
So we heard the countries, right? Libya.
And finishing off Iran.
Sudan, Iran. You know, we heard the countries.
Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya.
Syria, Lebanon, Libya. Libya is destabilized. Syria is destabilized. Lebanon is being destabilized, right? We have those pagers going off and stuff. You know, this is all happening. We must not forget what happened in history. Right? We must learn from history. So, all these countries he is naming are being destabilized right at this moment. Now, isn't that part of the agenda? You see, terrorism was used to scare the population. Domestic terrorism was used. 9/11, there was also the first attack on the World Trade Center in 1993. You guys remember that? That blind sheikh, what was his name? Whatever. Then you had Timothy McVeigh, right? A lone wolf. Again, a lone wolf. Now, if we look at history, every thing in history is done by a lone wolf when it comes to assassinations, right? We have Lincoln, John Wilkes Booth shot Lincoln in the back of the head. We have Garfield that died, not the cat, right? They are eating the cats and dogs, but James A. Garfield was a president. And William McKinley, also killed. We also have JFK and RFK and so much more. Right? Martin Luther King. So, we must not forget. The executive producer is telling me that I have to quit. So, we are going to quit. And, yeah, I thank you all for watching. Hopefully, we will learn from this and make a step forward towards peace. That's what we need, peace. We don't need a Pax Americana, Nope, we need peace. Peace. I thank you all for